or banned him.
So I didn't know that there were two people who work on this channel. I've known about the channel on YouTube for a while. Many of you do. It used to be 1791L. Now it's just 1791. You can follow this man at Real Christian OB. And I think it just cut off the name because his name is Christian O'Brien. Christian O'Brien, thank you for being here, sir.
Hi. Absolutely. It's a pleasure to meet you, Crowder, finally.
I don't know about that, but thank you.
Not too pleasurable. But yeah, the reason it's Real Christian OB is that Twitter has very arcane views on how long one's name should be.
Yes.
So, you know, very Eurocentric views, if you will.
I would say
on how long your name should be.
I would get a different name. It just seems like you just ran out of letters. Yeah. Like Count of Monte Cristo on the wall, only he ran out of rocks that would crash the rocks. Like, Christian OB, now I've starved. But so the channel is now 1791. I want to make sure that I get that correct because a lot of people know of this channel out there. I think actually Quarter Black Garrett knows about it too. It started out, or at least as far as it started out, mostly uploading clips and kind of highlights with a lot of other conservative YouTube channels. And that's how I had found you guys, because I remember sending an email saying, hey, listen, we work with an MCN, and every now and then if someone uploads like a 20-minute chunk of our show, they might hit someone with copyright. Just let me know if that happens with your channel, because I appreciate the support, and I don't want you guys to get struck. I don't think you were, but and you guys were very nice, very accommodating. I didn't know there were two of you, though.
Yeah, exactly. Well, at that point, I don't think there wasn't two of us. I came in and we started collaborating on the original content. Like he had been popularizing, aggregating clips that maybe had not been as well seen, and so he, like my colleague, pretty much started that kind of phenomenon because he discovered Jordan Peterson in an obscure clip, I think on Facebook or something. And then his became the most viewed clip of Jordan Peterson when he was confronting those students. And
yes, because I think we covered it before he uploaded it to YouTube, and it was mainly a Canadian thing. I remember we were early on the Jordan Peterson ball because I'm half Canadian, you know, so I'm kind of in the loop there. And then I remember, 1791L at that. Yeah, only one half. It's the part that's incredibly ashamed. It's the self-loathing half. And I think we maybe even swapped it out afterwards for your videos to try and, you know, just show some support, because I know you guys do some great work. So that's how it started. And now you've moved into a lot of original content, which I wasn't aware of until really, I want to say a couple or maybe a few months ago. And someone told me, hey, you really need to go and check their stuff out. I was like, is that the clip guy? So what was the reason for the transition?
The clip guy.
That's what, I mean, listen, that's what I didn't know that you guys were doing. At that point, I was thinking of you as the clip guy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, I mean, the reason that you probably heard of us now is that we've really begun taking traction recently. But we've had a few decently viral videos, right? I mean, video view counts that you probably pretty consistently get. But with the gun video, that might be our most viewed original one. Which I'm personally pretty proud of, the Why We Disagree on Guns, which kind of hopes to dissect the most common misconceptions about guns and what have you. And so we did that one, and I forget which video we started doing. We started covering like the Trump-based happenings in the White House, which inevitably we got kind of bored of because it became, you know, pretty predictable. So now we're striving to hit on more cultural notes. And we have an upcoming video about rap, which you mentioned earlier on. Who is it that you mentioned you think might be a hip hop fan?
Well, Quarter Black Garrett, who helps produce here, he's a quarter black on his dad's side, but we don't really buy it yet.
I see.
Yeah, we're not entirely sure.
It's in quarter blackface.
Yes, exactly. It's in quarter blackface.
You just can't see it.
No, that's interesting. So you're going to do something on rap. Yeah, gun videos are obviously very popular on YouTube because there's a huge culture there. And I've always said kind of, and I've been doing this for a long time. And I remember when I was at Fox News for like 4.5 years. Yeah, I know. I was trying to sit there talking about the Mr. Fantastic gray in my hair. Thank you. Guess who won't be a second time guest? No, I remember talking with them saying, hey, listen, there are 4 real winning issues with sort of millennials right now, because they always thought, oh, young people will equal a young demo. And I said, no. It's just about being relevant. And the winning issues, guns are a huge winning issue because of gun culture 2.0. So you have a lot of young kids who play video games. They want to start engaging in sort of in gun. They want to start fusing.
Seems to emphasize the prospects, the benefits of owning guns. Now, you might think of it in the context of just like, you know, it does seem to romanticize it.
Are you about rap?
When people talk. Yes.
Yeah.
Which has obviously swept the youth. And that's one of our more popular videos too, where we talk about why rap swept the nation, why it's become the most listened to genre of all music. Yeah. And obviously, I imagine the influence of rap might actually, to the maybe surprise of some conservatives. Rap has managed to infect the youth in a way that is not as hostile to guns. I think the youth has become a little more hospitable to guns because of the fact of rap, and as you mentioned, video games and what have you, which are all things that we kind of thought as negative a little bit in influence.
Well, I only think of it as negative because Drake is a buttersoft bitch from Toronto who played the paraplegic in Degrassi as a Canadian, and now he's talking like he's from Memphis. So that bothers me. Not so much, about the Gats, but no, guns. Guns, freedom of speech, anti-feminism. These are the three. Well, I mean, we can get into the fourth, but these are the big winning issues, and you've seen that obviously on YouTube. It's pretty easy to see what people are engaging in, and you guys have been very effective with that. So yeah, it makes sense that the gun video, and was a very effective video, was popular. But that's also interesting. I thought of gun culture 2.0 because of video games. A lot of them, they want to try out cool guns, and then all of a sudden they learn about the Second Amendment because it's kind of unavoidable. I haven't looked into so much that rap might inspire them too, though. That I also don't want to inspire drive-bys.
Right, exactly. Well, I'm not. You look at me kind of skeptically, like I'm trying to inspire drive-by.
No, I don't. But like, I'm less concerned about someone playing, like going, that's a cool gun in Call of Duty, and going down to the shop to try it, than I am of someone listening to, Cop Killer.
Well, I seem to apply the same thinking that many people who push back against the prior conservative backlash against video games do, which is that, I mean, there's a mission in Call of Duty, what was it, Modern Warfare 2, I think, called No Russian, where they shoot up an airport. Now, I think the motivations that drive school shooters are very different from, that go well beyond video games, which go well beyond seeing a character shoot up an airport. I don't think that, the Nicholas Cruzes of the world, who are embittered for different reasons, very often you'll find sexually motivated reasons, or just socially isolated reasons, shoot up schools. I don't believe the vast majority of people who are listening to rap are thinking, oh wow, if only I could hit up some licks. I had no prior inclination toward robbing a liquor store or shooting up somebody who slighted me in some minor way. I think that the culture precedes the rap, and in many ways the rap kind of rap can push against it too.
Can I ask you a question? Would you say to people who say maybe that's, and I'm playing sort of devil's advocate, a little Skylar.
That's a new segment of yours, by the way.
Yeah, I know. It's sometimes people don't know if it's real or not, and I'm like, oh, hold on, that's not that's Skylar.
It's kind of like the Miles McKinnesian,
a little bit. Only it's like a full hour, and I want to kill myself after.
It's like, why are they always hipsters too? I mean, Gavin's a hipster. I mean,
he's the godfather of hipsterdom, as he's called from Vice. But people might say, okay, you're saying that that the culture sort of precedes the rap. Well, wouldn't that also then be true for, if you're talking about that sort of opened the door to more gun culture, people being a little more amenable to kind of this idea of owning guns? Are you worried that people could take that and say, well, then they also might be a little bit more open to the idea of using them in felonious ways?
I would say that I would lean on the fact that people who do that tend to do so for temperamental reasons. I don't know if people who are not extremely poorly adjusted socially are going to do that just by their nature. Now, there are other reasons for as to why people act in a criminal manner. But I have a tough time believing that somebody's going to listen to a rap song that in a sort of lackadaisical fashion mentions criminal activity, and that's going to resonate with them on a deep level. They're going to maybe connect that to the culture in which the culture they currently occupy. Sure. But we have to fix that first, rather than the art form of rhyming to a beat.
But you think they might hear it and might be inspired to go check out the the SIG the guy mentions in the song. I
think they'll be more inspired. I think they'll be more inspired by the guy next to them in their school or what have you that says they're impoverished largely because of democratic policies. And I think they'll be more inspired by someone who goes to them and says, hey, we ought to do this. Or if they're high attaining, they're disincentivized because of their culture, which tells them that you're acting like an Oreo, et cetera, et cetera. And so I think that they're going to be more inspired by that than a few rhymes that seem to hint toward that. I think that's a sort of communal.
No, I completely agree. I was just sort of trying to get to the root of, because it was talking about gun culture 2.0. How you're saying actually it's maybe open people's minds to the idea of gun
that's because you mentioned video games, so movies too. All these things contribute to gun culture 2.0, as you dub it.
But the violence is usually a different step. Like you said, it's gun culture combined with serious mental instability. Or in the case of the YouTube shooter, vegan, Iranian, bad video culture. I'm not entirely sure what the motivation was there.
This is news to me. What is this?
Oh, don't you remember the chick who shot up YouTube? I don't think she killed anyone.
Oh, that was, honestly, I kind of I mean,
she had her video like, I eat meat, knife goes in the chicken, and people were just, it was one of those things, it was a national story until people had watched one clip from her.
Like, that's another thing about the media, which loves to focus on the radicalized right wing, even while there's this entire contingent of radicalized leftists who, are motivated by, animal non-human supremacy or various other things, and they'll be.
I think they make up a much bigger component of the left than the radical right. Certainly,
they do.
You can't name anyone in the DNC. I mean, who Cortez? Who are you going to say who's a moderate right now? Who's in the running for for 2020? Speaking of, let me ask, we don't have a ton of time. Let me ask you this because you've talked about sort of the more radical right. What are your thoughts on? Since I know you're obviously you and your channel, you're both, you and Andrew, is it? You're both more intellectual.
Alexander.
Alexander, sorry, apologies. And what we're talking about now, InfoWars, Alex Jones, and kind of the banishment, and then our CRTV colleague Gavin McInnes on Twitter. So even if you don't, I know that you probably wouldn't agree with them on a lot of issues individually. What's your take on this happening, especially as someone who's so active on YouTube? And that's really where you've created your platform, which is a great thing.
Well, yeah, which is a testament to the internet's power, and that's why I would like us to be able to preserve that. Because I mean, my main disagreement, as so many other conservatives emphasized, is that I find Alex Jones personally repugnant. I find him very funny. Like, he's an hilarious guy. I'll laugh my ass off to many clips of Alex Jones doing his various antics.
Right.
And but that's the thing about Alex Jones. People in the culture contemporarily, they view Alex Jones as more of a joke, as more of a meme, who actually is funny and is sometimes self-aware, but he's also, he says libelous things, slanderous things. And that's where I think if they were going to ban Alex Jones, which is kind of a different discussion altogether, they should have done so on the grounds of libel and slander against, grieving parents.
Right.
But
they didn't. They cited hate speech. And by the way, they're already legally protected. I think it was a case that was at 96. They're protected where someone cannot sue the platform if someone is inspired, goes off and either commits libel, or someone is inspired by watching a video on YouTube, for example, and commits a mass shooting. There's already a law in place to protect them. So this is another step further. Yeah.
Okay, so they can't be sued if somebody has on their platform committed libel or slander.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they can't be sued for libel or slander. What I do know is if someone is inspired by something on the YouTube platform, no, it didn't just apply to YouTube.
But they can sue for that.
Yes, they can't sue for that. And I'm actually pretty sure if certainly in the contract that you sign, when you check the box as a YouTube partner, that you are not holding them liable for things like libel.
Yeah.
So, right. So legally, they generally are protected. There are always loopholes, but that's not even the reason they cited.
Well, of course. Yeah, of course. The main reason was that of hate speech, which is obviously the most vague grounds you could possibly consider. But more importantly than the fact that it's vague is the fact that it could apply to you or I or Shapiro or Peterson or even Sam Harris, who is somebody who's obviously very critical of Islam. And we all understand that, on the grounds upon which they banned him, it's not for the more ridiculous conspiratorial beliefs that he had, which is funny enough because there was a conspiracy to take Alex Jones down, which obviously vindicates them, as I've seen you mention. Right. It vindicates the conspiracists, right? Oh, I guess he was banned because of a conspiracy. Okay.
This couldn't have happened without collusion. You can't ban all the major platforms within 12 hours, maybe within 8 hours of each other. Like, that cannot happen without a meeting.
Somebody was calling one another up on the phone, and I feel like the reason what smacks of me too is Jack's tweet. It's almost like he felt obligated to justify the fact that he didn't join in on this monopoly. Like, he dissented. Like, it's like, oh, the reason we didn't ban Alex Jones, because he didn't violate our rules. Well, why do you even comment on that? Oh, right, because every platform banned him.
Right.
So apparently you were meant to join in on this harem of anti-speech advocates.
Yeah. And
of course, these are the same people that, fired James Damore. These are the same people that, if you recall, banned Jordan Peterson for an unexplained reason for, what was it, a few days, a week even?
Yeah.
It was an extended period of time that they banned Jordan Peterson, who was obviously not a hateful person. And I think so much of the time, the left is just so oblivious to who the people they're attacking are. Yeah. Sometimes I want to assign them malice, but sometimes I think they really believe that we're Nazis, that they really believe that we don't hope to contend with, say, transgenderism as a mental health issue, that we just have a personal disdain, a guttural disdain for transgender people. Yeah. And they think that we actually believe this. So they view us, they identify us as threats, and their immediate response is to ban us, to eliminate us.
I think you're right. I think to a certain degree, right, a lot of the lackeys probably go along with it. But I think Susan Wojcicki's getting a memo at some point that says, Steven Crowder or Christian O'Brien were actually attacked by the alt-right. Like, oh, wait, no, hold on a second, Ben Shapiro's actually Jewish. I do think the people at the top have to actually know, but I think a lot of people underneath them don't, because they get their marching orders, and so it's misconstrued. So, no, you're right. I try to not attribute to malice what you can attribute to ignorance. But in this case, case, like you said, there was some level of collusion. The only question is how bad. This has been incredibly interesting. So we're out of time. Let's bring you back, obviously, sometime soon. Where's the best place for people to find you? Because I know you've changed your YouTube.
Yeah, obviously our YouTube is 1791. We dropped the L to simplify it. You can follow me at Real Christian OB, As you said, it's cut off abruptly. My colleague, the editor of the channel, is Alexander Vienna. It's ALXNDRVL. He shortened it. It's I can't.
All right.
Maybe you can.
1791 is the YouTube channel. Let's go with that one, because now you give us 9 plugs, and people are going to say, I don't know. It's like the lion. You know, lines. It's 3 prongs to the stool, and if it weren't for those 3 legs to the stool, the lion would just maul the guy. But he sees the 3 and he gets confused. So 1791 is great. I highly recommend people go check it out. Not only their clips, but now the original content. Really happy to see you out there, Christian. And be well, my friend. I hope you're not banned. Hey there, YouTube viewer. If you like this video, you first off should probably seek counseling, but you should subscribe or hit the notification bell or watch one of these videos that's playing. The truth is, I don't know what any of that means anymore. If you try and subscribe or hit the notification bell, you won't be notified. And if you try and click one of these videos, it's just going to take you to BuzzFeed Boldly Fat Broads as they get carried out of their houses where they had to break down the north wall and they get carried out in a land whale tarp. I don't know what's happening on YouTube. I know what's happening with Mug Club, louderwithcreditor.com/Mug Club. You get to watch The Daily Show 1 hour every single day, not just clips, along with like 15 other shows for $69 annually if you're a student or